I've been a little MIA here on YouTube over the past few weeks. Things just got a little bit hectic there for a minute with the kids being off for winter break. They were remodeling one of our restrooms and then another part of our home here for like a whole week. They were in and out of this house. So there was just so much chaos and noise going on around here for me to be able to record a video. So I thought, why not get back into it and not be absent one more week by just recording a quick and easy thrift haul instead. Since I have time today and there's not that many people here at the house today, I can do that. I'm going to start with a bin of clothing and then we're going to move on to a bin full of shoes. All of this inventory is stuff that I've been picking up for the past 2 to 3 weeks, I'd say. I go shopping about 2 to 3 times a week. So this is going to be a cumulative haul of all the things I've been picking up. It's about maybe like 50 to 60 items. Everything's posted, so you'll see the prices on the screen as well. And by the way, the prices on the screen you're going to see are what I priced the items at when I listed them, but I do always give myself a little bit of wiggle room for offers and discounts. So the price you see on the screen, basically I want about 20% off of that, and that's my lowest. For the most part, that's how my pricing works. The first item here is by this brand called POL, P-O-L. This is actually a different style tag. Sometimes they have like a brown faux leather type patch, and I've seen one other one too. So far, this brand has been doing it pretty good for me. This is probably the 4th or 5th piece I pick up by them. These lighter weight items, I'm trying to pick them up only if I can get them very cheap. If it's like a lightweight t-shirt like this one. But when they're like chunkier sweaters, I'll buy those even if it's not sale day because I can get them for like $5-6 and those flip real quick. But these you're going to get a little bit less and they do also sell a little bit slower. I think this brand, POL, is known for making baggy, loose, relaxed fit, slouchy type clothing in sweaters, bottoms, and tops. It does really well. It's very popular on Poshmark. But like I said, when it's the lighter weight pieces, you're not going to get that much. This brand here is called Sundance. It used to do a lot better than it does nowadays, but there are selective pieces here and there that are going to perform well, so make sure you look them up. I thought this was a unique sweater with the Fair Isle pattern going on there. It does have like 4 buttons here in the front, so more of a Henley style sweater. I picked up a cardigan that looked very similar to this. I think it had like roses embroidered everywhere and other flowers or something. That cardigan sold pretty quickly. This one has been listed for a couple of weeks and oddly enough it's not getting as much attention as the other one did. Maybe because that one's not a full-on cardigan. This next brand is called Barefoot Dreams, which, like Sundance, is a brand that doesn't do as well as it used to. You really do have to look this brand up piece by piece, style by style. These pants I sold not that long ago and they weren't new with tags. These are, and the other ones were also a petite size, which worried me, but in the end they sold fairly quickly. And these here are a 12-14 full length. So since they are a better size, they are new with tags, I figured I think they'll perform just as well or a little bit better than the other ones. So far, not that much attention, but I expect them to sell for a decent profit. This is not a new to me brand, but my first time finding it. It's called Vuori. It's like an athletic brand. They also make outdoor style clothing. These here are, I can't even describe this color. It's like a purple, but also like a gray, and it is more of a pull-on style pant. I found this and some other black pants that were more flare the same day. Those black pants sold for like $40 or something, same or next day. These are still sticking around. I thought they were going to sell quick too after seeing the black ones fly off the shelf, but maybe because of the color, but also maybe because it's not as a desirable style as those black flare yoga pants are. I've been talking about that for a while. Flare yoga style pants are doing really well for me. Here's this brand called Mother. These are a little bit different from what I normally pick up by them. Normally I'll have like skinny jeans, black, regular like blue wash. These are actually plaid with that side stripe. So they are going to be worth a little bit more than those other basic Mother jeans I'd be getting, but This brand typically sells pretty well at pretty good prices, and the time frame is normally a few weeks up to a month, so not bad. But since this is a different style, I expect these to go probably somewhere around the $50 mark. I can't imagine them selling anywhere below $40. This is We the Free. I can recognize this tag instantly now as I'm flipping quickly through the jeans. This tag always stands out to me, and the first thing I do when I see it is look down at the pant leg, see what it looks like. This isn't my favorite. It's like a jogger style. I like to see it flared or wide leg, or better yet, very baggy with lots of pockets everywhere. That's the kind of free people stuff I like to see when it comes to pants. But I did look these up. I think I'm going to be able to get about 20 bucks, so not too much, but these were pretty cheap. That's why I got them. These I'm very surprised with. I thought they would have been gone long ago. They are some fold over Y2K Hollister embroidered with the seagull. It's very large here on the side. They are a size large. These, I spotted them using that technique I told y'all about. I just literally go down the leggings section and look towards the top a little bit and then towards the bottom. And all I'm looking for is anything that is straight leg, wide, or flare, or anything that has a fold over top. That's how I usually find these kind of pants, and like I said, so surprised that these are still around, because normally anything with a fold over top for leggings and yoga style pants, those sell really quick. I had some Abercrombie ones that sold overnight, and I do also sell them in Athleta brand as well. I think maybe I priced these up too high. I priced them a little bit higher than the last Abercrombie ones I sold. So I think that's why it's sticking around a bit. I am starting to send a little bit of lower offers on it just to see if it can move a little more quickly. Although it's only been listed for a few weeks, the fact that it hasn't sold yet tells me that my price is a bit too high maybe, because usually those sell quickly, as I said. Here are these vintage Levi's. Let me school you if you don't know, because I've been doing some research on jeans. In the back of the button, there is a 3-digit number. This says 159 and it has a letter M. So then next, what you do is you go to the back of the material tag and you find the 159 that was behind the button. Once I find that 159, right next to it, there's a 4-digit number. And that 4-digit number is supposed to be the year and the date that these were made. So that's what I've learned about identifying Levi's and what year they're from. I'm still practicing with that technique. Sometimes it makes total sense and sometimes it makes no sense when I'm at the store. But using that technique, these are from, what did it say? October 1999. So technically vintage, and they are a little bit different because it is more of an acid wash, a black acid wash, not just plain black. I did look up comps on these and they looked pretty good, so hopefully they sell for me soon. Here we have some more mother jeans. This tag does look different. It's like a patent black leather. They have all sorts of tags, but they should be easy to find because they have like a large M in the back pocket. That's how I'm able to find them most of the time, or I just spot this tag. These here are crop and a little bit more wide at the bottom than the other plaid mother jeans I showed. For these, I could normally get probably close to 30, maybe a little bit more if they're not so skinny, which these aren't. So I expect to get about 30 or a little bit more for those. Here's the kind of We the Free People type of pants I told y'all that I prefer to pick up. These are a little bit more baggy, relaxed fit. Lots of pockets everywhere. They even have buckles here at the bottom pant legs. Very grungy. That's the kind of keywords I use for these kind of pants. And they usually do flip pretty quickly for me. I'm pretty sure this is the first time I pick up this brand called Driftwood. When I barely started selling clothing again and I started off with just jeans in the beginning, this brand would come up for me a lot on eBay when I was doing research. And I have come across it maybe like 2 or 3 other times. But once I look up comps, they just don't check out. These did. I don't recall the comps anymore because it was a few weeks ago, but they have floral embroidery down here, raw hem. They're called the Colette, even though they don't look Colette-ish to me. But I looked it up using that exact style name, and maybe I can get close to 30 for these, so we'll see. I did find 2. I don't recall if I picked up the other ones, but if so, they'll come up later in the haul. I was going to try to do all the jeans and pants first and then the sweaters, but I'm just going as I come across it. Here is this Ralph Lauren piece. It is that green tag. It is some silk in it. It's 62% silk. Just a plain cardigan, a goldish tannish color with the patch front pockets. Simple cardigans have been selling a whole bunch for me over on Depop, so when I saw this, I didn't even look up comps or anything. I didn't research it. I think it was priced maybe like $4 or so. So I thought it was worth giving it a shot. It hasn't gotten as much attention as other cardigans did on Depop. I don't know if it's the color. Maybe people are looking more for just plain black, plain white, or even cream color. Not so much that one, but we'll see if it sells. Here's this brand called Theory, which I do skip it a bunch. I try to look up things that look promising, but nothing has passed so far. The only reason I got this one is because it was for me, but it fit way too tight with this structural neckline it has. It's like too constricting here. So that's why I didn't like it, and I'm going to just go ahead and post it. Or I did go ahead and post it, and I'm sure it's for a very low price. You'll see on the screen. This is my first time picking up a quince dress, and it was also my first time looking through the dresses with this haul. I've been sticking more to just bottoms and tops, like sweaters and shirts, but I haven't been through the dresses section. I figured I'll just wait to start ramping up on that as we get closer to spring and summer. We're nowhere near that, but I'm slowly trying to start looking over that section. So when I did this day, I found this maxi wrap dress by Quince. The thing with Quince is this. Every time I look it up, the sell-through rate, amazing. Always 50 or above. Rarely is it 30 or 40. But the sale price is not that much. It's affordable for the type of company it is that makes clothing from high quality material. And so when you go to resell it, you're not going to get that much for it. This one here is by Everlane. This is a sweater that has some sort of special material. It is alpaca and merino wool blend. Just a regular pullover rib sweater, very minimalist, which is what this brand is known for. This dress, I picked it up based on style. It is this brand that is nothing, I am sure, but I figured I could use many cool keywords with this, like cottagecore for one. It is also plaid, it is smocked, it is tiered, so it is also boho-ish. It is very stretchy here at the top, more like a knee length dress, and it's also off shoulder. Looking at it now, maybe this is something I could have skipped, but at the store it seemed like a good idea to give that a shot. This one too. This one is by Jessica Howard, and it is a vintage tag. It is a size 12, and it is linen blend. It has shoulder pockets here, floral embroidered all over, adjustable waist with that tie in the back, and just very long and flowy. I used to sell these kind of dresses a lot back in the day when I was selling all types of clothing. So when I saw this, it brought back memories from back then, and they used to sell really well for me, so I wanted to go ahead and give them a shot again just to see how the market is with these kind of dresses nowadays. The next dress, which I think this is the last one, I did find a few more this day, but those have already sold, and actually some sold in the hundreds. So I'll be sharing some of those in my next video, which is going to be my income report for the month of December. So in that video, I should have many listings that are clothing that sold for a lot more money and a little bit faster that didn't make it into this haul since they sold fast. This dress here is not by a notable brand. It's Ashley Stewart. It's kind of like Lane Bryant and Torrid. They make clothing for plus size gals. This here is a dress that is new with tags. I didn't find much information on this dress when I was looking it up at the store, but I thought, you know what, that thing has enough factors, enough unique qualities, designs, and accents in order for me to get it sold. So we will see if I'm right. Let me run through all of those things that made me want to get this. First of all, it has puff sleeves. It is faux leather, but it is like a quilted leather. Button front all through the front. button pockets here, adjustable belted waist, and then it has this flare at the bottom that's like ruffle or pleated. The inside looks comfortable because it is fabric lined. So lots of beautiful things. I think it's going to take a very special kind of customer to want to buy this, and it's going to have to be for a special event, I'd say. It's not an everyday kind of dress, but nonetheless, I think it'll do okay. I did pay $8, which is a lot for that brand, but with it being new with tags, hopefully it works out. This one here is also just a personal pickup that did not work out, so I'm selling it. It's just a shock collar polo Ralph Lauren men's sweater. I usually skip this stuff because the way they price it at the store, there's just not that room for profit. Most of the stuff is just bread and butter for other people, like for 20-25 bucks. But when they price it for like $8-10 at the store, there's really not that much room for me to make profit. So it's very rare that I'll pick up this men's Ralph Lauren stuff, or even women. This brand is called AG by Adriano Goldschmied. It has a red A and G circle here, and also that circle here in the back patch. I don't know why I'm showing you, like, you should be looking out for it. Normally this brand I skip all of the time because I find them in very super skinny styles. They even have one called the Cigarette, I think, or is that J. Crew from years ago, that is super skinny. All of that stuff is trash. It does not do well in most brands, and especially in this brand. But this one is a straight leg style with a raw hem. Let me see what the actual name is. It is called the Alexis High Rise Vintage Straight. So I decided to give these a shot. I got this one, and I also got this one here. And this one is called the Ex-Boyfriend Slouchy Slim. So because of those things, because they are not super skinny, and because they were a larger size, very cheap, like $4 or $5, I thought, okay, this is a perfect time for me to try this AG brand in not skinny jeans to see how it does. So if these two do okay, then I'll know from here on out that I could pick up these when they're not skinny. And if these two flop, just like all the skinnies do, then I know to just stay away from this brand altogether. This piece right here is totally based on style. It is by Coldwater Creek. But what caught my attention from this top is just the patchwork situation. I thought that was really cool. I thought there was many keywords I could use with this, like cabin core, cottage core, and even grunge. I don't know if all of those keywords go, but all of those are potential keywords. It is on the longer length side, and I thought it was perfect for the season. So that's me continuing to experiment with style when it comes to clothing. And actually, I guess that's also the case for the next 3 to 4 pieces. They're all based on style, and they're still here with me even after being listed a few weeks. So that just goes to show, I guess it's not those great of styles. But I do think they'll sell eventually, and it's all part of the process. Getting stuff, seeing it sit or sell fast, learning, and then doing it all over. This here is a brand that I do not know what it is, but again, the style is what caught my attention. It has that Peter Pan collar style. It does have the tags attached, and it is long sleeve with bell cuffs, and it's cinched here at the end. Not the best of not condition, but quality, I'd say. The quality doesn't feel horrible, but it doesn't feel that great as some other top brands. It does also have some lacing and floral embroidery here around the neckline, so a lot of cute things. I think out of all of these style-based pickups that I got, this one here that I just showed you is getting the most attention. The next style-based pickup is by Moda, M-O-D-A, a sheer all-over floral v-neck top, also with the flare bell sleeves at the end. This next style-based pickup is by this Christina woman, a vintage tag, I think. It looks very old school. Cinched at the waist, buttons all down the front. Bell sleeve here at the end. This one I could have skipped, I think. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea at the time. It does also have a little bit of ruffle around the collar. And this one, at first I thought, you know what, I'll get it for me, I'll try it on. If not, I'll go ahead and sell it. But in the end, I didn't even feel like trying it on. It just seems too short. I do like my stuff cropped, but this is like way too cropped. and this is a size medium by this brand. It is sheer at the top with floral embroidery, smocked here at the waist, flare hem, adjustable at the top. I think this is actually getting decent attention as well. I talked about this brand plenty of times, Spanx. It is hit or miss, kind of, but then not really, because I know for sure their leggings and straight legs don't do well, but their wide legs do excellent in dress pants and in jeans. Although this doesn't fit that, I did still get them because I got them before in a tan color and they sold really well. And my thrift stores don't price them up that much, so when I can get these for like $2 or $3, it's worth it. I did look up burgundy faux suede pants just to be sure that it had the same potential as the tan ones, and it seemed to. So they are going to take a little bit to sell. They'll probably end up selling for like 20 bucks or so. But because I pay so low for them, it ends up being worth it. But when it comes to leather leggings by Spanx or any other patterns, those are usually skips. It's just the faux suede ones that are doing good right now, it seems like. This is a brand that I skip a whole bunch too. It is called Matilda Jane. The only pants that do really well for me from her are the ruffled pants. They're like very popular. It's like their signature style, what they're known for. But most other tops, cardigans, sweaters, I look up sometimes, but I skip. This one, I don't think I even looked it up. I got this based on style, based on size, and based on price. So it is a very, I guess you'd call it long line cardigan. It has cable knit details. Very relaxed, loose, slouchy, which are all great keywords. And it is an extra large, and I paid $2.50 for it. So for all those reasons, I got this cardigan sweater. We'll see how it does. This one, I got it because it is Athleta, and because not too long ago I did sell a pullover sweater that looked just like this. It was a cream white. I don't think it had any cable knit or anything. It was just a great material. And this one is too. This one is a merino extra fine wool blend. Ribbed, buttons in the front. So since the other one was a little bit more plain and it was pullover, I thought since this one is more of a cardigan, I think this should do well. We'll see if I'm right. This is my first time picking up this brand called Natural Life. I've heard other resellers talking about it, and I just never came across it, and I finally did. And it's new with tags. It is a burnt orange velvet tunic top, button all in the front, just very pretty, a great color and material for this time of year. Did y'all know this? I did not know that Free People had a line called Freest. At least that's what I saw when I looked this up online, that it is a Free People brand. It is made in India, and this particular pants are extra small. They're super wide, flare, I guess because they have this like cutout here on the side, it makes it super wide. These are a personal item. It is by Good American. It is a slimmer style pant leg. I lost weight, then I gained weight, so now these don't fit me anymore. I decided to resell them, and then I kept some new Good American jeans that are a bit of a larger size instead. I was just talking about this brand earlier, Quince. These jeans do really well for me. This is my third time picking it up. The first two times they sold like same day, so that's why I had no hesitation picking these up. Another part of the thrift store that I'm starting to go over that I didn't before is the coat section. Again, I did already sell a few that I got with this thrift trip, so make sure to watch my what sold videos, my income reports. That's where I share what sold, because there I'll share some brands that I've never heard of from jackets that sold really well for me. But this one here is by Guess Los Angeles. I must have paid like $5 for this. Wool, 100% I'm sure. Let me double check. Oh no, it is 60% wool, but still a very good amount. Just a classic pea coat with the toggle buttons, kind of structured shoulders. I don't know if necessarily shoulder pads. It feels thick, but I don't think there's some in there. Removable hood. Lots of great qualities about this pea coat, and I really hope it has a chance to sell before winter is over. When it comes to coats, now that I'm looking over them, I want to pick up those that have excellent sell-through rates, like 50 and above. For other things like the clothing and the shoes, I don't mind as much if the sell-through rate is a little bit on the lower end, like 20 or 30% when I look it up using the eBay research tool. But when it comes to coats, I need it to be a lot higher because I don't have that much room in this inventory room to store items. And if I'm stuck with a bunch of jackets when winter ends, that's not going to be good. So I'm treading carefully when it comes to coats and chunkier sweaters. Here's another Free People item. This one actually still has the tags attached. It says $5, but everything was, what, 25% off. I went sourcing this day, and this is the only thing I found at that store, and then I came home. This is what these look like, just extra wide leg. It does have a zipper here on the side, so I guess more like track pants. I don't know if that makes it classify as track pants, but it zips all the way up. It says medium here. It looks more like a large to me. Now we're going to get into my favorite thing to sell, which is shoes. First, here at the top, we have these beautiful mule loafers with the chain detail. These are by the brand Circus by Sam Edelman. Circus by Sam Edelman doesn't command as much money as just Sam Edelman, but I guess you could say it depends on style. Some styles are worth a lot. This one here is Ortho Feet, and this does sell for a lot. I expect these to go for like maybe $50, but Ortho Feet, definitely a great brand to pick up. Even their older styles do really well for me. They're not going to sell for as much, but usually I can find them cheap, so they're still worth it. Look up every Ortho Feet you find. These here are by Dream Pairs, which is a brand that is sold on Amazon. Not very expensive, but I like to pick it up when I can find it very cheap and in trendy styles. I don't know so much how well this style of shoe is doing right now because I used to sell it a whole bunch in Jessica Simpson. I've sold several of their colorways. So when I saw these, I thought those look just like the Jessica Simpson ones. They look like new. They're cheap. It's just a typical ballet flat that sells really well on Depop. These here are by Kohan. That's what one of their logos looks like a C and an H. Here's the inside. Not all Kohan does really well. I was just talking about it. I think in a reseller income report, they have several different lines, and it just depends on the line how well it's going to do. These I picked them up more based on style, and just because they look cottagecore to me, vintage, retro, Regency. All those kind of keywords came to my head when I saw these, which is why I decided to pick those up. This is an excellent hiking shoe brand if you don't know it already, OBOZ. These are waterproof. They are in great condition overall. Maybe they won't sell anytime soon because they are hiking shoes. These do a lot better during the summer, but if I can find them cheap enough, I'll still get them because they may still sell. These are actually not listed. Because look, they're missing the shoelaces, and I thought I'll just buy them on Amazon. I do that all the time, and I never end up doing it. So I either need to list these things as is or hurry up and get those shoelaces. But they're by this brand called Anarchic. I don't even know. But it is like a goth emo type brand that makes these kind of creeper shoes, which I've sold before, I think 2 other times for like 50 or 60 bucks. So that's what I'm going to list these for, maybe 40, just to move them a little bit faster because they do move a bit slowly. These are by Call It Spring, which, don't they make LRT shoes as well? I think they do. I got these just for Depop mostly because these kind of Mary Jane chunky style shoes do really well there. This Call It Spring brand is not a great one. It's not worth that much. So that's mostly based on style. These I did look up. Fit Flop, one of my bread and butter brands. Well, not as much anymore, but it used to be more so. These I also looked up because I don't do that much athletic footwear. It is by Brooks. It is men's. It is a size 14, which surprisingly enough, from what I've heard from people who do a lot more men's items, size 14, 13, and even 15 can be great sellers when it comes to shoes. Paid maybe like 10 bucks. This is a brand I pick up a whole bunch. Born of Concept. Less than before, but still pretty often. Every time I go sourcing, I do come back with a handful of them. This is just a classic ballet flat with the floral embellishment here in the front. There are a handful of athletic brands I do know about and come across. Lems, I don't come across it a lot, but it is one I do know about and I like to pick up no matter what, every time I see it, as long as it's in great condition and a good price, because these have a very high sell-through rate, and also the selling prices aren't terrible too. So make sure you look out for that Limbs brand. It reminds me of some other minimalist shoe brands like Vivo, Barefoot, something like that, and also Zero with an X. That's what these remind me of. So those three I'm always on the lookout for. Here's this brand again, Ortho Feet. But this is a women's Mary Jane shoe. Mesh and suede at the top. Overall, great condition. I like picking up these uniform style shoes. This is by a brand called Caps. CAPPS. But there's also a brand called Bates that make these. Sometimes in a lot more shinier leather. This is just a normal leather, but these sell pretty quickly, and for decent prices, I want to say like 25, maybe 28. So if you can get those cheap and in great condition, I think it's worth looking into. Here's this brand called Fry. You can see, I think the lights are washing it out completely today. But I think most of you know what Fry looks like. There's their logo here. It is always embossed here on the side. At least these older tags, because there is a Fry & Co as well. That's their newer tag. Those shoes don't sell for as much as these old school Fry ones will. This is just a Western embossed textured leather boot. Normally Fry boots take a couple of months to sell, so that's what I expect these to do. They're going to sit for a couple months, but hopefully in the $50 mark at least. This brand is super old. SAS, S-A-S, I think it's for San Antonio Shoe Company or something like that. It is a very old brand, so a lot of the stuff you see at the store may be so outdated and worth nothing, but every once in a while there is some styles out there that do excellent. These I don't expect to do excellent, but decent at least. I must have paid like $3 for those. Looked them up, and I think I can sell them in the 20s. Here's this brand again, Born. Well, I think the other one was Born of Concept, and this is just Born. Born makes higher quality shoes than Born of Concept. They're both great, but this one just makes their leathers a lot more sturdier and their shoes a lot more sturdier too. At least that's what they look like and feel like. These here are just some grunge style combat boots with the zipper and the lace up. The leather is black and distressed looking. I used to pick up these combat style boots a lot more in the past, but I've slowed down a bit because a lot of them started to sit, but I think these Born ones should do well. Here's this other bread and butter brand called Vionic. I look up every single style, come across them now, unless it's just something that's completely obvious. But here on the inside, it has the sizes for all the countries. Right above that has the style name, so it's super simple to look it up real quick. These seem to be doing okay. Another old brand, kind of like the SAS one. This one is Echo. They're just pull-on stretchy black fabric. I picked up these completely based on style. Even when I looked them up, I couldn't find much, so that means they're not really being listed or sold that much. But I really like the unique wedge heel it had. It's pointy toe, has the ankle strap, like a witchy type vibe, and I think those are the kind of keywords I used in my title and description. Here's some more wedge style shoes, but these are a little bit more normal. They're not structural, the wedge here. They are peep toe though, and they are by this brand called Vivea. They make shoes kind of like Rothy's that are supposed to be comfortable, and they're often stretchy knit like this. They do really, really well still. Most of the time it's an instant pickup unless it's overpriced. For these here, it is called Todd's. They make dress shoes. The only kind I have found are by women, and they're loafers. I think this is my first time finding a boot. These were like $5. I can't find the size now, but I do remember it was a smaller size. Oh, they're a size 7. I thought maybe like a 6 or a 5.5. Normally, Todd's shoes do sit around for a few months, but they always sell like in the 50s or 60s. So I don't mind sitting on Todd's. If I can find it real cheap, I always pick it up. This is a good one to know too. It is called Vagabond. These are some patent leather gray Chelsea platform boots. I've sold loafers by them, I think in the 60s or 70s. So this is a good one to be on the lookout for. This is also a good one to look out for. It's called Red Wings. I thought it was just Red Wing, no S. But apparently, oh, right here it says Red Wing with no S on the tongue. Red Wing shoes. They make men's and women's. These here are women's, and they are steel toe and waterproof. I don't like to get work boots when they have a bunch of dirt I gotta clean off, but when they're pretty clean like these, I do. And these won't go for as much as some Red Wing shoes will go for, just because they're a basic style, a little bit more beat up here in the front, and they're women's in a smaller size. But if you got your hands on some men's Red Wing shoes that were more modern and great condition, and they had all of those neat features for work style shoes, like the steel toe, the waterproof, the great bottom lug sole with the grip, those can sell for hundreds. So if you ever see Red Wing label on some shoes, look it up. This one too, Vessi. Great one to be on the lookout for and to know about. I just sold some boots by this brand called Vessi for I think like 50 bucks. So that's a great one. It was like a few winters ago that I could pick up this style of Vince Camuto boots and have them fly off my shelf. I already knew I could pay up to 10 bucks for them, and it was worth it because they were gonna sell so quick. Been having these listed for a couple of weeks, not that much attention. Has gold hardware on the side, on the bottom, buckle strap here, and even then not doing nearly as well as it used to. I was going back and forth with these boots. They are by this brand called Coach. The comps looked excellent, but they are a men's size 8.5. So when I looked up 8.5 specifically on Poshmark and eBay, comps were iffy. When I took off the size, comps were great. So we'll see how these do. They were a size 10 or 12, something like that. I wouldn't be as worried, but I paid like $10. I did list them up a little bit on the higher end, so I have a little bit of room to lower the price as time goes on to get it moving. After today's video, we should be back to regular programming. The video after this one is probably going to end up being my monthly reseller income report. By that point, that video should be due. After that, we're going to be going into the new year 2026. I have many update videos to do, like Mercari shipping, Poshmark, eBay shipping. So many updated beginner tutorials to do. If you have any suggestions on which one you're more interested in, leave it in the comments below, just so I can know what most people want to watch. But I am going to be working on all of those tutorials here at the beginning of the year. I hope you found this video helpful today, me just rambling on all these things I got, and I hope that your 2025 ended on a good note with your reselling business, and that 2026 is even better for you. I want to thank you so much for stopping by my channel today and any other day you have this year so far. I appreciate everyone who watches, likes, comments, and supports my channel. And that's all for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.